Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero Chapter 66. When we last left our heroes, we checked in on Homura, who was still kneeling at the corpse of Valkyrie, where she was attacked by Garrett after a very slow-acting paralyzant stopped her from moving. Garrett continued to be my least favorite part of this arc. But it was all worked out because thanks to some incredibly specific trajectory math from Homura, she used an ether sword to knock Valkyrie's real sword up into the air that then skewered Garrett. So Garrett's out of it, meaning the last opponent we have is Kurenai. It's just Kurenai now. Dragon is coming. So we do still have Draken, unless he does like Doflamingo at the end of Punk Hazard. I am at Dressrosa now, in One Piece, by the way. So One Piece videos will be out eventually. It's a long series, you know. So yeah, we'll see if Draken shows up before the Eden Zero crew leaves. But yeah, let's jump right on into Chapter 66. Gravity's gonna crush you. And we have Happy peeking out from between someone's legs. Alright, it's just a random picture. We open on, as the title kind of implies, Shiki's continued fight with Kurenai. So I love this shot of him standing down against the Kurenai, or standing tall, staring down. That's what I was going for. Staring down the Kurenai Dragoon. The Kurenai Dragoon was built to destroy war machines. It should be able to take out a single human being in milliseconds. And I don't have time to fight some little nobody. I have to punish Draken for stealing my Oculus Kurenai. Raising output to maximum. Show me your real power. Kurenai Dragoon. We see the Kurenai Dragoon's eyes light up. Lifts its head back. And it's like a laser beam coming towards Shiki. And Shiki jumps out of the way as the ground all around him starts to explode. We see Shiki kind of, I can't tell if he's tripping or if he's using his gravity ether gear to kind of be sideways. But a whole bunch of buildings in the labor district just explodes. What are you aiming at? I'm just buying time until I can lock onto you. And we see a little aiming reticle or whatever it's called, beeping at Shiki. I'll see you in 1,000 pieces. Queen Nova, fire! And we see this missile launches out of the Kurenai Dragoon's hand and goes flying towards Shiki. And Shiki tries to gravity himself out of the way by starting to fall up, but the missile follows after him. And then he falls down, and the missile follows after him. You're wasting time. The Queen Nova always gets its target. Alright then, I'll lure it into a wall. And he stops on a wall and make a last-second dodge. And he jumps out of the way right as the Queen Nova hits the wall. But the Queen Nova doesn't actually explode. It drives through the wall and up the ceiling and follows Shiki again. Shiki dodges it again. It won't stop until it hits its target. I see. Then he comes down towards the Kurenai Dragoon, and Kurenai is understandably shocked by this, and he lands on the Dragoon. Then how about this? What? If you plan to dodge again, don't bother. The Kurenai Dragoon's own weapons can't damage its armor, but my fist damaged it. We remember how his fist left that indentation on it a few chapters ago. I'm not dodging it this time. Kurenai's eyes widen. I'm using it to help me. And he grabs onto the Queen Nova. And it makes this big, we see it makes a boom, the shockwave expands. He caught the missile? No. He's holding it back with gravity? Oh, it's he's made the gravity to where it stopped moving in just the right place. And we see, somehow this force is starting to, crack down on the Dragoon. He's turning the missile's kinetic energy into gravity? Okay, again, I'm not a science kid, so I can't tell you if that's how it works. But sure, this gravity's gonna crush you! But that's not possible! No one can focus that much energy to a single point! We see he's like just making a fist on the Dragoon. Magimech attack, gravity impact, and it looks like I'm trying to read this picture here. It looks like he's like cracked a hole in the Dragoon with the help of the Queen Nova. He's still screaming, and yeah, we see this kind of like ball of flame at the front of the Dragoon, and it falls over. Not possible. Kurenai is still alive in there. The Kurenai Dragoon, destroyed by a mere human? And we see Shiki, like, standing over her in what looks like a new form of his ether gear. Like, I don't think we've seen those lines designed like that before. And Shiki just, like, glares down at her. No, are you really human? And then, meanwhile, back in the labor district, we see the Punishers are just kind of standing there. The Punishers are all shutting down! Yeah, did we beat them? And the rebellion all, like, cheers. Anime will save the universe. But, oh, and it's Nino who's turned off all the Punishers. All Punishers shutting down. Can I save anyone? Then we cut back to the labor district where everyone is cheering. Nino stopped them for us. Rebecca knows what's going on. And Wise just kind of, like, huffs. Who is that bearded old loon? He's a famous beekeeper. I don't think he's really that old. And Homura turns to them. My friends, I apologize. Had I joined the fray sooner, we may not have suffered so much damage. And we see their like wrecked out walls, still injured people as like med droids come like take care of them. It's not your fault, Homura. But and they hear like this murmur breaks out in the crowd. For real? When? Look. It's Shiki, probably with Kurenai. Yo, Shiki, master! And Wise like jaw drops. Where are your clothes? This is what Valkyrie wanted, right? And Homura looks shocked. To bring her to you? And he throws Kurenai to Homura. It's Madame Kurenai. What is she doing here? What's going on? Homura. Mother? And that's when the chapter ends. Alright, so I've said for a while that I really wanted it to be Homura who beats Kurenai. You know, that I predicted that Homura's fight would be against Garrett and that Shiki would get Kurenai, but that I really didn't want that to happen. Because I wanted that Homura-Kurenai thing that feels really like a redo of Urza and Irene in Fairy Tail, except like better done, I feel. Because again, as I've said back during the Valkyrie flashback, which was like 7 chapters ago now, if there is a twist that, you know, Kurenai cared for Homura all along somehow, that feels more earned, given what we saw in the Valkyrie flashback, than Irene's did. So I figured that maybe this arc was kind of a redo of that plotline. And there's still a chance for that to happen now that we have Homura and Kurenai facing each other. Though not in a fight, maybe in more war of words, so to speak. So yeah, I imagine we're going to find out next chapter what exactly happened to bring Kurenai to this state. You know, because I mentioned way back in that Valkyrie flashback that it didn't quite feel like this Kurenai doesn't feel like the Kurenai we meet in Valkyrie's flashback. And we'll see how true that is next week. But yeah, as for the fight itself, I'm a little iffy on that science. I don't know if that's how it works, but if that is how it works, if that is how kinetic energy and gravity work, that's really well done. You know, there's a smart reason for the Dragoon breaking. And yeah, it's not this big kind of dramatic fight that you might see at the end of an arc. You know, I've kind of been thinking about this arc in comparison to Arlong Park in One Piece, and it's certainly not Luffy versus Arlong. But it's good. It's you know, it's a good fight. But yeah, is there really anything else to say? Yeah, I guess I don't know if the fight makes sense because I don't know enough about physics. which is a weird place to be in with a Hiro Mashima manga. Like, this is not Dr. Stone. This is Hiro Mashima, who, you know, feelings first, logic later. But not so here, I think. Again, I literally do not know if that is how science works. I'm curious. So there's the scene right before we cut away from Shiki and Kurenai, where Kurenai repeats herself, "No, are you really human?" Or she questions herself with the Kurenai Dragoon destroyed by a mere human. "No, are you really human?" So there is the mystery of where Shiki came from. And I'm curious if that's a sign that maybe Shiki isn't human? You know, there's been an implication, if I recall, that he's somehow related to Mother. But yeah, I guess there just really is not enough information. Just kind of want to, like, raise that question as we move forward in the series. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this week's video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!